Just because they threw the dart doesn't mean that it stuck.
No, and just because I've got skills don't mean there is no luck.
Just because they let you down doesn't mean you gotta get low.
No, and just because they're clumsy don't mean they got no flow.
Just because I'm finished doesn't mean that I'm done.
No, and just because you got the gold don't mean that you have won.
Take this. Hey, just because you can pull it off doesn't mean that you should do it.
And just because you failed, that don't mean that you blew it.
Just because you threw shade doesn't mean I'm out of the sun.
And just because you shut me down doesn't mean I have not won.
Just because they can choose doesn't mean you have a choice.
And just because they don't hear you doesn't mean you have no voice.
Just because I'm dirty doesn't mean I can't get clean.
Well, just because you're nice don't mean I can't get mean.
Just because I'm going in circles doesn't mean that I'm busy.
And just because I'm sitting still doesn't mean that I'm not busy.
Just because you and I are friends doesn't mean that you can't burn me.
And just because I'm stuck, well, that don't mean that you can't turn me.
Not just because I forgive you doesn't mean that I still trust.
See, there's what you do, there's what I do, and yours is not my must.
Just because it's fiction, it don't mean it can't be true.
And just because you want one more don't mean that you need to.
Just because we disagree doesn't mean you're not right.
And just because it's dark doesn't mean that it's night.
Just because the sun is set doesn't mean it will not rise.
Why? Because every day is a new gift. Each one a new surprise.